Y'all, it looks like Gizelle is over Mia. Okay. So listen, in this video, we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. We're going to rate the episode. We're going to break down the episode. But first, we got a little bit of tea that we got to talk about. Okay. So let's get into that first, and then we'll dive into everything dealing with the episode. All right. So Gizelle, in an interview, I think it was with Decider, and it was posted by our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. Okay. Now, to give you the headline, it reads Gizelle says she's tired of Mia's constant lying. Mia does not understand what the word truth is, and I'm getting bored with it. So let's take a listen. So, when asked about Ashley's quote from when she was at the Hayu, I think it was a fan fest in London, it was Ashley said something to the effect that Mia would have the most to answer for at the reunion. And Gizelle agrees. And she says this. Take a listen.
Well, Mia does not understand what the word truth is. Mia just lies about everything. And she lies to the point where I'm getting bored with it. And I'm getting bored even listening to anything coming out of her mouth.
It looks like Mia and Gizelle might be on the outs. What say ye, y'all? Now, apparently a lot of people in the chat feel the same way. When you look at the comments, you will see someone says, the first time I agree with Gizelle. Another person says, Mia is a professional liar from day one. And y'all know this, and y'all still entertain her. Someone else says, Mia literally believes her own lies, and don't get me started on her sidekick. So another person says, unpopular opinion, I'm liking Gizelle's rebrand this season. Someone else says, Candace is nursing her baby and eating this up. Someone else says, it hurts to type this, but Jizzy finally stating something I agree with. Mia, go find a Tyler Perry series. Side note, did y'all watch Beauty in Black on Netflix? What did y'all think about it? I watched it. Okay, what y'all think about it? Let me know in the chat. Okay. So let me know what y'all think in the chatterization about this story. It'll be interesting to see how things shake out between Karen and Gizelle and Mia and Jacqueline this season. I'm excited to see where things land, because it's not looking like Mia and Gizelle are so friendly anymore. And we saw a little bit of that in the first episode. So let us know what you think about that in the comment section down below. Now we got to talk about the episode itself. All right, so it says season 9, episode 5, Blast from Everybody's Past. Mia reveals what she allegedly heard on the phone with Karen years ago, leaving the table speechless, starless. The ladies ring in Wendy's 40th birthday. Gizelle heads back to Maryland to attend Angel and Adore's cap and gown ceremony. Okay. If I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, my initial rating was going to be a 7.5. But, well, I'm still, actually, it's going to be a 7.9 because I was going to give it an 8. Because something brilliant happened amidst what was lacking, okay? And I felt like there was a lot lacking. Last night could have used a healthy dose of Candace. It could have. It really could have. Can you imagine Candace's commentary in the midst of what was going on last night? Or I was gonna say it could have used a bit more Gizelle. Something was missing last night, and I felt like a lot of the heavy lifting was left to Karen to do. I guess because there's so many new faces who aren't as experienced in How to Housewives. So their responses back to accusations that are being thrown, their responses to just things in general don't quite have the same level of oomph as maybe somebody like a Candace would have, right? Or it just something is missing. I can't really tell you what it is. And maybe it is because the new girls have to really kind of like learn the ropes a little bit, but I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. Okay. Maybe it's just me. And I'll get into the specifics of what I mean in a minute, right? Um, I'm taking away a bit of a couple of points because I told y'all last week, to me, you get 2 to be continues per season. When you start overusing the to be continued and don't want to give us a preview for next week, I just feel like it feels a little lazy to me, because I just kind of think that with so much that happened right at the end of the episode, we didn't necessarily need the to be continued. The fact that it ended where it ended was enough. And it just feels like Potomac, y'all have like some of the best editors in the franchise. What has happened? There's no creative editing at all in this, okay? There's nothing, and I felt like maybe some creative editing would have elevated the episode. And I'm going to give you some examples of what I felt like they did that brought the episode down, okay? So those are my thoughts, 7.9. Let me know what you guys will rate it in the comment section down below. We pick up this episode with the continuation, and we talked a bit about this in yesterday's video, but we pick up the episode with Mia discussing what she got from the 3-year-old incident with Karen, where Karen allegedly butt dialed her and said, "Those girls think that I'm with Ray." Apparently, we learned from Mia in her confessional that it was actually the next day when that happened. That honestly should have been said at the time, because telling us that after the fact feels a little like, I mean, are we putting some stank on the story? I mean, it just would have been better. It would have landed better because it would have given Karen more to answer for, if that was the intent of bringing it up. Now, we do learn that as Karen, because Karen kind of skates by this. Again, I told y'all yesterday, I feel like this season is very much keeping up with Karen, okay? And who can keep up with her? And not very many people can, okay? As you will see in this episode. I'm not saying Karen's all the time right. I'm not saying that. But Karen is going to do you better than you can do you, okay? She's been at this longer. She's more experienced at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like comparing Dynasty to, I don't want to, you know what? I'm not going to do that comparison, because I was going to compare it to a modern, it's kind of like comparing Dynasty to, I don't know. I can't even make a good comparison because it's going to come off insulting, and I don't want it to come across that way. But it's just think Dominique Devereaux. You know what I'm saying? And then think about, some of the new franchises that we got out here with some of the young people. You know what I'm saying? They just can't do it like that. So anyway, I just feel like Karen was able to kind of maneuver around it by saying to the rest of the girls, like, I just walk in my truth. I don't know what she's talking about. I own my truth. And I'm like, I don't know what truth there was, but girl, you got out of it. Okay, good. Keep it moving. Okay, let's keep this train moving. And interestingly enough, I mean, I felt like Karen didn't really take a major swing back at Mia, as much as I felt like it was almost like it was just interesting to see that the dynamic between Mia and Karen didn't really seem to change all that much, which tells me that probably Karen is just so used to these girls coming at her and then having to kind of move forward that it just don't even really, as she stated yesterday, they just kind of bounce off of her, and it's just like, what? So after dinner, a lot of the girls are staying up because they want to wish Wendy a happy birthday at, I'm assuming, midnight, right? We'll get to that in a second, because this is where, to me, the show failed us. Okay. Um, we see Mia and Jacqueline and Ashley talking outside, and Mia says, I couldn't let Karen take my girl out like that, talking about Jacqueline. And she's basically like, she was coming at Jacqueline hard and my girl was struggling. And that is true. And so, Ashley's like, yeah, that's what Karen does. She deflects. And for me, with Ashley, it's like, you kind of do that too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know what's going on with you. I mean, but okay, let's continue on this path. And so inside, this to me is where, actually, no, before we get there, Stacey, I like you a lot. Okay. I do. But this phone call with TJ, ooh, ooh. Ooh. I don't know what to say, really. I mean, all I'm gonna say is this. The relationship, it doesn't come across on the TV screen as very genuine. I've heard a lot of people say it reminded them of Kenya and Walter from Kenya's first season. And I think that was one of those things where everybody fell in love with Kenya, but the Walter thing just threw everybody off. And I feel like that's the same situation with Stacey and TJ. Like, I feel like TJ is throwing everything off for Stacey in terms of the viewer experience. Now, what they're like in their everyday lives, I really don't know. What we do know from this conversation is he is fine being on camera. He is fine with, telling her she should let the girls in on her life and spread the love, spread the word about their Christian mingle love, all that stuff. Okay. And, some of the girls do talk to him for a quick second and he seems real cool with it. And in my mind, I'm like, girl, if you know, like I know from this group of people, you might want to keep that man away, okay? Because he too will become collateral damage if you don't watch out. All right? That's all I got to say about that. Now, again, where the show failed us to me, wherein I think they were trying to give us comedy, it really came across as boredom. Like, why did everybody look bored and on their phone while they waiting for Wendy's birthday? Why are we not taking shots? Why are we not like turning all the way up? Everybody just sitting there silent on their phone. By the time Wendy's trying to give her speech, and thank God, okay, because Wendy, I love you and happy birthday to you. But I don't want to hear about this birthday no more, okay? Like, I done heard about this birthday since I swear for the Lord, since the season first started. So thank God. We love you and all of your degrees and all of your accolades. But girl, I don't want to hear nothing else about this birthday. Okay. And by the time you finally give me your speech, and here come Ashley interrupting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then it's time to turn up. What y'all should have done in the edit for me, okay, if I were doing it, I would have skipped past all that boredom and we would have just got to the turn up. If I was the producers, I would have been like, we are not about to, y'all not about to do this on the show that we about to produce. Y'all about to turn up and y'all about to show shake some stuff or something like that. Give me something. Like, give me a moment where this feels fun. Meanwhile, back at the ranch the next day, Jacqueline and Mia have a very interesting conversation about a couple of things. Really the core of the conversation is about Mia's relationship with Gordon, because apparently Gordon has been texting Mia at all times of the morning, especially about a picture from about a month ago or something like that. I'm assuming it's like a month ago at that point in time, because now it is a couple of months ago. But this was in April, apparently, where she had posted something with ink, I think. And so, they have some different. I liked the fact that Jacqueline was honest with Mia about her opinion that Mia may be using the convenience of having Gordon around, but is also willing to listen to Mia explain to her, well, yeah, because I'm also helping him. So he should be helping me. Okay. And so, I think that this situation is it's very convoluted for a reality TV storyline, right? Oftentimes, and real life is complicated, but in terms of reality TV, usually the audience needs an easy to understand story where we understand motives, actions, behaviors. And so, because so many things seem to just be beyond the realm of what we're used to, I feel like it oftentimes comes across confusing for the audience. Maybe that's just me. But I can follow the story because I do feel like it I can see vaguely, something's happening. We know that Gordon and Mia were married. There is the bipolar stuff that was, the issues that he's dealing with that has likely been, largely, it sounds like, allegedly, played a big part in their relationship. It seems like at times she might have been trying to protect him and his actions, which maybe she didn't always really understand. And then and then there's ink, and then there's so many overlaps. Okay. And I do think that Jacqueline had some sage words of wisdom, like maybe y'all shouldn't be living so close together. Like maybe down the block, maybe not in the same building. I don't know. What do y'all think? Let me know in the chat. We do see Gizelle going home to visit. Listen, here's the thing. I gotta give it to Gizelle and her commitment to the work, okay? Because homegirl flew down to Charlotte, filmed what she needed to film, flew back home, attended the ceremonies for her daughters. She ain't gonna miss that. And then is gonna fly back down and be ready to party with the girls. I mean, I ain't mad at. I like that level of commitment to. I'm gonna be there for the show, okay? Because girl, like they need something, okay? Something was missing yesterday, okay? So hurry back now, girl. I never thought. Listen, because a lot of y'all think that I hate Gizelle. I don't. I really don't. The first 2-3 seasons, I was in love with Gizelle. Then I kind of started to see some patterns that I ain't like, okay? And I feel like she was able to get away with a lot of things that a lot of other people wouldn't be able to get away with, right? And I felt like the show wouldn't really show her on the receiving end of any of the real irony that some of the other ladies would give her that I know of, okay? But having said that, she's an integral part of this show. Whether you like her or not, she is. So her absence, in my opinion, was felt. That's just me. Moving right along. Now, the majority of the episode should have been focused around this lunch, okay? That the girls have down to the house, okay? That's what the majority of the focus should have been, because this lunch was very good. This lunch was what I like to call a masterclass in Uno reverse, okay? This was another edition of Karen teaching how to housewives. But I'm going to go lower than you, okay? What we saw in this scene was Karen and Mia fighting by proxy. What I mean by that is Mia said, "Oh, Karen, you're gonna come for my good girlfriend. I'm gonna come for one of yours." And Karen says, "Oh, I'll do you one better. That same girlfriend that I dragged yesterday of yours, I'm gonna drag her again today. But I'm gonna take her all the way down today. And I'm gonna make you watch while you sitting across from me, mouth wide open. Okay? And I'm gonna show you how to really handle a flute. Okay? Because the girls are fighting over flutes. Oh, yes. And in my mind, I was like, I wanted to think, like, well, what? And granted, I'm sure we've seen this on other franchises, specifically maybe Atlanta, with the girls fighting over a peach, but probably not saying that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, that to me is what happened at this lunch. So the girls sit down for lunch. We talked about this a little bit in a breakdown previously, but Kierna's like, I'm so tired of and over the conversations about Karen, because earlier in the conversation, they talked about, not holding on to things and being bitter. And, Stacey asked Jacqueline, "Are you talking about Karen?" And at that point, that's when Kierna's like, "I'm really like, I just felt like yesterday was really low. And I think that Karen, you handle yourself really well." And at that point, Mia's like, "Well, honestly, she was coming from my girl, so I had to, I had to get her back." And, honestly, Karen is just probably looking at me like she's proud, and that's how I earned my flute. And maybe one day you'll earn yours. I don't know. The jury is still out, Kierna. And at that point, Kierna's like, "Girl, I don't need this flute." Okay. And again, I can't believe we actually talking about the flute on the show, about the flutes. Okay. The champagne flutes that they hold in the intro. Right. And I'm like, is this what we arguing about? Y'all gonna show this? Okay, fine. Here we are. So, and then Mia starts talking about, well, how street um Kierna is, and because she was apparently dating a dealer. Okay, her ex-boyfriend was allegedly a dealer. We talked about this, of the stuff, and so allegedly. So when Kierna's like, "Oh, what?" Everybody's kind of like, and Ashley, well, yeah, the streets are saying that you had a boyfriend that was a dealer. Now, a thinking person, okay, would have turned to Ashley, would have whipped their head around and say, "I know you're not talking about exes." Okay. And no shade, Ashley, but this is one situation where you should probably not be chiming in. Okay. Okay. And so, but Kierna's new here. She just started going to this school. So she's not quite yet that fast on her feet. Okay. Beautiful girl. She's just not that fast. Did she handle herself well? Yeah. But I think that with time, maybe she'll grow into being a little faster. Okay. Because you got to be fast around these parts. Meanwhile, they get into that, who's more street, stripping or dealing, dating the dealers. I don't know. I don't know which is more street. So, but the next place that Mia goes is, okay, Stitches. We know you street, Stitches. And, again, I think Kierna is caught off guard because I don't think anybody in their real life is used to having people throw unexpected darts at you like this. So at that point, you can start to see Kierna's like, "Girl, like, no, you didn't." And even Wendy comments on it in her confessional that it just felt like extra. Here's the thing. I don't like it because whether you like Kierna or not, and I do, I think she's such a beautiful girl, cute girl. No, the girl was hit with a bottle, and she has to live with a scar. And if you go to her Instagram, there are photos where you can actually kind of see like how visible it is. So she probably does a very good job covering it with makeup. However, I just think that that's something that that's a place where I wouldn't go. Because it was such a serious situation. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's But you know, Mia says, don't start none, won't be none. So I think at that point, Wendy's kind of looking like, I think it's kind of riling Wendy up a little bit. And I think she knows she needs to help a girl out. You know what I'm saying? So then Ashley, and I watched this back because Ashley's going to tell us something different in her confessional. Ashley turns and says, do you have a scar? And then her next, and when she sees Kierna react, that's when she says, well, I don't see it. So I was just wondering if you know where it went. Like if you your beauty line was covering it up, girl. And it's like, Ashley, no, she in her confessional, she does this thing that I'm like, Ashley, you would be an even better housewife, I think, if you simply just owned your ish. You talk about Karen needing to own hers, and granted, there's a lot that she probably does need to own, but you are not the person that should be pointing that finger at anyone, because every time you do something, you get in your confessional and you play dumb. Like, oh my God, I don't know why she got so offended by that. I mean, I was only asking because I don't see it. Girl, you know that your good girlfriend hit her upside the head with a bottle. Why would you think that you should be asking her anything about her scar? No, you should not. Okay. So Kierna, poor justice for Kierna. I mean, just didn't stand a chance. You know, she runs away screaming that Ashley should not be asking her anything about her scar. Wendy goes to check on her. And I think that was when Wendy decided, okay, let me step up in here, girl. Let me step up in here. Okay. Let me step up in here. Because when they get back from the table, when she gets back to the table, you know, Kierna tells her, don't you ask me anything about my scar or in fact, anything else about me. Okay. And Jacqueline says, well, I mean, what's going on here? And Kierna has to turn to her like, girl, are you okay? Did you just miss all of this? You know, and at that point, Jacqueline starts talking about, well, you know, everybody has a past, you know, because I forgot what something came up and oh no. You know what happens? Karen chimes in. Karen says, let me be messy for a minute. Jacqueline, what's going on with you and PP? Okay. Now, PP, for those of you guys who are unawares, would be Jacqueline's baby father. Okay. Now, I'm so sorry, PP. I'm justice for PP. I'm so sorry to you that you got pulled into this. Karen says, and you know, Jacqueline starts describing where their relationship is, and you don't know where this is going, but you remember Karen said, let me get messy for a minute. And then so Karen is like, well, girl, you seem to be okay with justifying all of his 25 convictions. Baby, Jacqueline is upset. I mean, she goes in about how Karen is just mean and hurtful for bringing up somebody that doesn't, but you know, and again, this is what I feel like. I feel like Mia said, I'm going to go for you, Karen, and you came for my friend, so now I'm going to go for your friend. And so Karen said, oh, okay, you want to mess with my friend? Let me continue on with yours. But I'm going to do her worse than you ever could have done. Okay? And Karen goes to a place where, again, I would not go. Okay? But I think she felt like per her own discussion later that she needed to go to a certain place to let that girl know, you keep messing with me and I'm gonna really mess with you. And you're not gonna like when I mess with you, so don't F with me. Okay. And Karen, when you look at this scene in and of itself, Karen sitting off on her own, kind of at the end of the table, is kind of representative of how Karen has to maneuver on this show anyway. She kind of has to maneuver as a lone wolf in the sense that everybody takes shots at her typically, okay? And it's interesting to see how they all have tried at a certain point in time, and it never seems to work. So at that point, at a certain point, I forget when it was, if it was before or after. I think it was after, because Ashley's like, now she's all over, like she's like, well, no, that's not fair. Karen, everybody has a past. Everybody has a past. And Wendy's like, you hypocrite. Shut the F up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay. And I was kind of with her because I'm like, Ashley, girl, at the end of the day, now everybody has a past. But when you was sitting there snickering and whispering about Kiana's ex, it was like taboo. You know what I'm saying? So I just love that Wendy was on her about that. And they kind of got loud with each other for a minute, but that wasn't anything I really took seriously. I feel like Wendy and Ashley kind of know the game at this point, and they're just playing along. So after that, you see the ladies break off into groups, and Karen takes the ladies come with Karen. It's Karen, Wendy, I think maybe Kierna and Jazzy, and they're outside basically. And Karen is like, "Listen, she again keeping up with Karen, giving her masterclass. I don't want you girls to follow in my footsteps. I don't want you to have to ever go where I just went." But I needed to let them know that they weren't going to keep messing with me. Okay. Inside, Karen, Mia, Jacqueline, and Ashley are livid at Karen because they feel like she is deflecting because she has all of these, eight or nine citations or something like that they kind of read through. And I mean, they're there. And so when Stacy comes in to try to talk to them, Jacqueline and Mia kind of go in on her about defending Karen when she has all of these citations. And Mia tells Stacy that they think that Karen needs rehab. Now that's a serious thing right there. You saying that you think that this lady drinks so much that she needs to go to the AA, to the rehabs, to the rehab, to the rehab. Okay? Do y'all think Karen needs to go to rehab? That's a judgment that feels too severe for me to make as a viewer. Really. Okay? And I'm going to stay away from that one. That's for either Karen to decide, her friends or family, her really close friends and family, or for a judge to mandate. And who knows what'll happen? I guess we'll find out in December. And actually, let me ask you guys this. Whose place is it to hold Karen accountable? Is it Karen herself? Is it left up to, does the accountability come from the judge to hold her accountable? Or do the ladies need to hold her accountable? And then do they have that right to hold her accountable? I'm trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? I think if it's coming from a friend and genuine concern. So, because what you will see next is Stacy pulls Karen to the side and it's basically like, listen, You know, I'm being told about all of these 9 citations. I knew that there was something going on with your DUI. You know, these girls are telling me that you need rehab. Do I need to be concerned? And we end with the to be continued. And again, I felt like there was no need to do that. Um, because I do think that the accusation hung there enough for it to warrant, like, okay, let's keep this train moving. Let's see what's gonna happen next week. Um, and so there we have it. There we are left with this episode. Again, I do feel like there was something missing here. There were too many moments that I felt like lingered for way too long with kind of dead space. That's what it felt like to me. But again, there's a lot of new people here. So I'm sure there's a lot to be worked out so that things can continue to happen that need to happen to make the show entertaining. And I think sometimes though, when you don't have that, it's hard because that means it's up to the editors to kind of like, oh, what are we supposed to do? You want us to show the reality that there's nothing happening, or do you want us not to? And in my mind, leave out the dead air. I don't want to see it. Okay. Give me the entertainment portions only. And if you got to shorten the season down to get us there, fine. That way you ain't got to drag out a trip. But that's just me. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Y'all be safe out there. Make sure you guys are getting out to vote. Please, please, please. So many people are depending on us to really do the right thing for them because there's so many people who are in marginalized communities. And I just feel like we just want to make life better for people who need us. And that's going to be our kids, you know, grandkids, the women that you love, the minorities that you love, you know, people who are just having their rights stripped from them. They don't deserve that. They do not deserve that. And so we have to vote with our hearts and with our minds, with the understanding that the voting is the first piece of the equation, because we need to continue to stay focused, diligent, and take action even after we vote in this election. We have got to stay on it. And if the past couple of years have not proven anything, is that we have to stay vigilant with understanding how politics work so we can show up at every poll that we need to show up at, whether it is local, state, or whatever. Okay? I implore you, I am begging you, please get out, vote. Listen, that's all I can do. That's really all I can do is ask you, please take someone out to vote. There are so many people who are depending on us. Okay? All right. Love y'all. I voted blue. Vote with your heart and your mind, please. With that being said, I will catch you in the next video.